Hindi. Okay. Hello po, good afternoon. So, yeah, today we decided to release yung isang tool that we are using. It's called Siyasat Linux. So basically, it's a Linux distribution used for mostly OSINT, CTI investigation when you're doing like online investigation. So parang ano siya, basically a Linux distro, so a collection of tools. So sige, let's start by who am I? So I won't say much about myself, but about our village, our team. So we're a bunch of guys who's mostly focused on these things: OSINT, CTI, social media intelligence, social engineering, Recon and OPSEC. Also sometimes like trolling. So we have a booth dun sa villages, but we don't have anything prepared honestly this year. But so we have this instead. We have a tool that we want to release to the public. So this will be open source. I'll show you where you can get the tool. So it's available naman sa GitHub, and also the actual virtual machine you can download. And given yung source code from GitHub, you can also try to build it on your own. You can have your own. Maybe I'll discuss a bit on how you can customize it to your liking. So basically that's what I'm going to discuss here. So yeah, what is Siyasat Linux? So you can just read it. I basically just copied it off in sa description from the Recon page itself. So it's the same thing. So that's what our aim is. But basically, to summarize it, I'll say it's a glorified Debian distribution. It's basically Debian. It can be installed in any Debian-based distro. Actually, it can be installed into any Linux distro. But as is, for now, we only support Debian. Later, I'll show you mga roadmap namin, the things that we still need or we still plan to do. So why? So of course, I mean, the sagot is why not? But of course, there are other similar Linux distributions, same focus. So these are example. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. So basically, these are VMs used for the same thing. So why would I develop or release our own tool, yung Siyasat Linux nga? So one reason is most of this, upon using, there are a lot of tools available that you don't actually use. And then there's, I would say, it's not very easy to customize to your own like workflow, for example. So that's what we tried addressing with this distro that we're releasing. So yung the ability for the users to customize the distro, we try to simplify it. Mamaya I'll try to demo a bit on how we achieve that. By the way, so far, familiar ba kayo sa mga sinasabi? The things that I've mentioned earlier, like OSINT, SOCMENT, CTI, familiar naman lahat. Okay. So yeah. So as I've said earlier, so our goal is to have something more customizable and so open source. So we're releasing the some source code and the salt states that we've used. So salt states, so we've used for this one, we've used a configuration management called SaltStack. Anyone familiar with it? So SaltStack basically is a configuration management tool similar to Ansible. Anyone heard of Ansible? So okay, so these are like DevOps tools used to like provision your software or your settings for your environment, for your operating system. So whether that's Linux or Windows, so you can use those configuration management tools. So yun nga, SaltStack is one of them. So we've chosen SaltStack. But why SaltStack? So SaltStack is, as I've said, it's another technology used for DevOps, but there are other alternatives as well, which is yung na-mention ko nga, which is Ansible, for example. I believe Ansible is much more mature as well. Saka yung the community around it is more mature, mas maraming documentation. Si Ansible. So why SaltStack? So, okay, na-discuss ko na to. So kaya SaltStack yung ginamit ko is this distro has been inspired actually ng another Linux distro, open source din yung Remnox if you're familiar. So Remnox is a Linux distro for malware analysis naman. So they have the sources open, yung mga salt states niya. So I referred to that when I was building this thing. The only thing is, yeah, it's more focused on malware analysis. So I've tried to build something for another use case. So these are like the documentation for SaltStack. So you can refer to that. Why use configuration management software? So first reason is idempotency, which is that means when you run the same thing multiple times, it would still result into that same state. So no matter how many times you run the salt configuration, it will result into the state that you defined in your configuration files. So that's the advantage of using a configuration management tool against, of course, we can build everything we have here with just a bash script, for example. Diba? Script lang lahat, we download everything, or the script download everything, and then configure everything for you. So you can do that as well. You can do that with Python, you can do that with any programming language you want. But of course, it would be harder to maintain that way. So for example, you want to add another package or another software, then you have to look through your source code. And yeah, bash script, for example, is not very fun to like mess with. So of course, like some personal preference. So I've built this some time ago. I think during the pandemic, the first version of this is actually based on Ubuntu, and I did it like as a learning, to learn something new. So yeah, while learning DevOps stuff, and then I've personally am using it for my day-to-day, for my day job, a little bit, not every time, but since I have the tools built in there, so I tend to use it. I'm using it with Cubes OS, if you're familiar. So I have it as another app VM there, so I'm using that. But then we decided this year, we don't have any contribution to Recon, so we decided to release it. We have some tools as well that we've developed before that we're planning to release in the future from Recon Village. So yeah, this is the first one. So as I mentioned earlier, we've used SaltStack because it's inspired by Remnox, and then against bash script, it's more structured and easier to maintain and troubleshoot. Okay. So, as I've said, this would be a fast one. So these are the links for the source code. I'll give the QR code later. Wait, I think I have it. For those who can't wait, this is, I think, that's the link for the GitHub page, and then I'll walk you through the source code, and then maybe a little walkthrough of the operating system itself. So actually it's running here, it's natively installed here on my laptop, and then it's also in a VM. Then as I mentioned earlier, I was using it inside Cubes OS as well. So yeah, it's up to you how you want to use it. It's basically just any other Linux distro with the options of like the pre-configured tools. So, balik tayo. First na presentation. Let's go. So yeah, there's the source code, and then this is the download link. You can also see that link in the GitHub page that you've just scanned earlier, so I did not provide the QR for this. So first the download page, so you can find the actual. So we built the VM itself. It's around 12 gig, I think. So you can check the files here. I don't think I have. Excuse me. Yeah, but from this archive.org page, you can download it through a torrent file, and also like the actual files should be here. You want the OVA file, and then that OVA file you can export into VirtualBox or VMware or whatever like virtualization software you're using. So it's ready made. It's available there. The sources are also, of course, inside there because of the installation. So it's everything there. I'll try to explain the sources later. Let's go back here. So yeah, before I go walk through the source code and like the actual operating system. So these are like the roadmap we have. So we want to integrate it to Cube's OS. So right now, I've mentioned I'm using it inside Cube's OS, but that was like the previous build I have. So this new build is not yet fully integrated. I built a template. I'm not sure if we'll make it available or maybe just provide the salt states as well. And then we're planning to have like regular maintenance of the tools. So we don't maintain any of the tools inside there. So what we did is we set up the tools and we provide wrappers for the tools, so you can like just use the tool from the command line or from your desktop. But yeah, we don't maintain the tools. So for example, one tool is not working, so it's not us, it's like the maintainer of those tools. So yeah, but we can try to help you sort out things if you have any problems. And then we're planning to have more install options. So basically, the install script. So yeah, one thing that I've used here, so I still use bash here to provision the salt stack. So configure it and then install it. So it's a straightforward bash script. I'll try to walk you through later. In the future, we're planning to add options. So this time, this one, as mentioned here in the review, for example, you need to have this user, or that needs to be the main user of the distro that you've installed for it to install properly. But of course, you can run it on top of any like Debian distro, Debian-based distro. It will still build some of the tools. It will still run. There will be errors, but yeah, the tools will still be installed. You won't have like a perfect install, but yeah, the tools will still be provisioned. And then of course some customizations, like right now, as I've said earlier, this is just a glorified Debian Linux. What made it different is basically just the wallpaper, and that's it. That's the branding. We've touched nothing else, but yeah, just made our own, or maybe probably I've even just downloaded it. I don't remember. It's been a while. Yeah, probably downloaded it, put some label into it, and then yeah, that's our wallpaper. So we'll have more customizations, like maybe the ability to choose the user, what desktop environment, for example, you need if you're installing it into a virtualization, a hypervisor, like options to install the guest tools for it. So maybe those kind of optimizations. So we're still looking into it, but also some documentation. So basically, the documentation now is you run the tool, you'll see the help files. That's it. So we're planning to have like like workflows. Like if you're investigating a username, what tools you want to use, with what API or which external service you want to use with your tools, how to set up the API keys, for example, those kind of things. We're planning to work on that still as well. And then maybe provide some training around this tool. So use it more. We'll try to partner as well with some of our friends in the community so that during their workshops, for example, or trainings, they can use this tool instead of like the other tools that they are already currently using. So basically, yeah, it's just Linux. So yeah. Okay, let's go. I'll walk you through the OS. By the way, this is how it looks like upon initial. On first boot, you'll be greeted by this. It will, so if you provision it from a minimal Debian as recommended by the GitHub page, the README there, it will recommend you to install. Okay, let's go there first. So here, so it's recommended to install a minimal Debian 12, so you can get it from this link. So it's an ISO file. You provision your Linux or your Debian 12, whether it's in a bare metal setup or on a VM, you install it minimal. And then when asked for your username, just use Siyasat as a user. This is for now a requirement, but yeah, we're looking to just change it to any username you want in the future. And then when asked with this, the software selection page, it could be like a graphical one as well when you choose the graphical install, but the point is you want to like not select this two. This is pre-selected, I guess, during the default install. So unselect those, and if you want, you can choose SSH server, so you can like continue installation remotely. So you can just basically SSH into it and then copy paste easily from the browser. And then next is you want to clone this repo. Then once you have it, you need to run it as root, by the way. So you go to the directory of that you've downloaded from GitHub, and then you install it. So upon running the installation script, it will show a bunch of garbage on your screen as usual. And then yeah, it will take a while, probably a good, well, depends on your internet basically. So since I have like crappy internet at home, so from around 45 minutes to an hour. My speed is like around 200 Mbps. If you're like if you have faster internet, it would probably be faster as well, the installation. So you want to see this after the install. Wait, so you want to see this screen. So later I'll try. No, this will be too far. Okay. Yeah, so basically when you run install, so this is like the result of running the salt states. If you have an error here, like it says, this will be red if you have an error. Like it says failed and then some number of failed items. You just run the script again until you get the failed 0 result. So some problems could occur during installation, like probably at some point it was not able to download the package, or yeah, for some other reasons, but you'll see it here in the logs, and then you just run the script again and it will provision the machine properly. So another thing you can do is just run this command, or also I provided, I think, to call it, utility script called salt-install. It's in your user bin, so you can just call it anywhere, but of course it's still as root. But basically what it does is it runs this command. So this is like source code applying the state distro. So I'll show you later what that means. Here are some screenshots. This is not necessary, I guess, because I'll walk you through later again. So yeah. So that's for the GitHub page, and yeah, let's walk you through the source code a bit. So this is what exactly is on GitHub. So this is the install script that you run as root, so you can review it, of course, you should. Yeah, basically what it does is it just install some dependencies, set up salt stacks repo, and then install salt stack. After that, oh, let's go up first. So it did some other things before that. So what it does is this. So it basically calls this script build.sh, which what it does is basically it packages everything into this tar gz file, this archive that will be, so that installation will be like on their proper places. So it will be installed on your like root directory, but this on this directory. So there are files for under etc, which is so this is actually settings for your salt stack, so you can run salt states in that local machine. So that's the setting used. Basically points the salt base to this directory, and that's where the files are extracted. So, and then let's go here. User local bin, I've installed this, but if it basically just runs the command I've mentioned here, this one. That's all it does for now. So those are like the things that we want to improve in the future, like provide more utility scripts, so that once you run it once, you can just call those scripts like auto update and installation as well, or yeah, troubleshooting stuff. And then, so it would extract everything here, opt Siyasat Linux, which, and then call the salt state, the salt call. So these are our salt states. So main is this one. This is what is called by the script, salt call. So it calls this one distro, and it has this. So basically it calls all these other salt states. So it's nicely organized. Well, I hope as well, so that you'll figure out which one you are actually installing. So for core, so basically, so for example, we call Siyasat Linux.core. So inside that core directory, you want to go to init.sls, and then that's where it's doing its things. So in this case, it calls the base. So you want to go to init as well, and then it calls everything here. And for example, let's see this one, genome. So what packages are installed, or what things did it include in that state? So basically, it just installed these packages from the Debian repo. And then I think I have some example here. Oh yeah, like this one for example. So I group them as like archive tools. So there are like built-in tools from the Debian repo that you can install, like these tools. But then I specifically want this 7-zip binary because it basically supports a lot more files. So what this salt state does is it fetches this archive from the internet and then extract it somewhere, and then put the file under user local bin and the file that you've extracted. So that's one thing. So if you want to add more packages, for example, say you want a specific package from the Debian repo that you know, I don't know, maybe Timox, or let's say Cause, you want Cause, so you just add it like wherever you want, which you think fits, or maybe you can add another state file, where let's say add-ons.sls, and then just call it here in the init file. So let's say Siyasat Linux.core.base.add-ons, and then put the package name like with this format, and then yeah, you're good to go. Run the script again, and it will install everything, that package for you. So the beauty of this is when you were, for example, migrating your, let's say you've set up a VM for this, and then you want to migrate it like to another system, then you can easily, like, so it's reproducible. You can do it again and again, and you'll have the same results. So let's have that, and then what else? So we've tried to include here also some packages from like Flatpak. It's not available from the repos, but Flatpak is another system for applications. So they have their own like Flat Hub where you can download stuff. So if you want something from Flat Hub, like for example, I think this one, Obsidian, is a note-taking app. It's from Flat Hub. This one, Draw.io, is from Flat Hub as well. So you can get those things as well. But basically, this is not very clean. What I did here is just flat. I basically just run the command as well, like Flatpak install and then the name of your Flatpak package as you've seen it in the FlatHub page. You'll see how to install stuff, and basically that's what it's doing here. Then of course we have Docker packages as well. And what we did here, for example, this one, gitlix, so it will pull the image for you, but then it will also create this wrapper which makes a binary available called gitlix here. So this is available since this is, that local bin is included in your path. So gitlix you can call anywhere, and it basically is a wrapper for that Docker command. So instead of running or calling this command every time you want to run it, it will just, you just need the gitlix command, and it will accept all the parameters you usually throw at your Docker application. So we have that, we have support for Docker. What else? Tools. So why do I use Docker as well? Because there are some tools which are only, well, easily available on Docker. Instead of configuring it on your own or by yourself, then it's quite hard to troubleshoot some stuff. And if the Docker package is available, then I tried using it here. So on your initial build, it should be included already, but on the VM, on the first run of this Git, this Docker tools, it will still download the images first. But consecutive runs of the same tool will be faster because it already downloaded the images. And then of course, Python tools. So this is why I decided to rebuild everything. So this is like actually like last minute. Like, I mean, I started rebuilding everything 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's not very polished. So I decided to rebuild everything instead of just releasing the previous tool that I've built because of basically Python. Python was broken. Yeah, I mean, the way you usually install Python things like from 3 years ago, I think, was very different. So I decided to just redo it. So basically what I did is I used pipx for the common packages, and then every app or every Python-based app needs its own like virtual environment. So that's what's different. So I decided to just rebuild everything, and yeah, right now it's not very clean. For example, like this, where's that? This one. So I have like my own directory for Python, and it calls this one. It's not supposed to be here, or maybe the other tools that are Python-based are or needs to be moved here. But these are the pip packages that I've included. So basically it's the same thing. I'm running a shell command. But for tools. So these are the tools that I've mentioned earlier. So these are different kind of tools. Could be Python based, could be something else. So like I even included here the browsers. So the browser is, for now it's Firefox, the default one. But I think I've also included, Chromium in the core. but I have like a special folder here for Firefox because I'll show that to you as well. Or Firefox actually, so on initial run, this will install like the built-in extensions. So I have like a couple of extensions here, mostly related still to OSINT and CTI. So you'll find your extensions here. It's automatically included in the distro. Also some bookmarks. So there's a lot of things OSINT these days. So I don't want to overwhelm anyone who's using this with like lots of links. So I just provided a few basic ones. So OSINT framework, this one, this like online tools from known OSINT researchers or providers. And then some start me pages from researchers as well. So this, I don't think I have internet, but yeah, basically these are like bookmarks of links to other things. So yeah, I can put everything here, but too much work and you're not going to use it anyways. So, and then investigation, so for ransomware, so I have this links. So these are mostly for monitoring ransomware leaks. Yeah, you can just check them out. Fortunately, I don't have internet. Yeah, it's okay, but. And then for phishing investigation, so these are the tools you can use. These are like online tools. And then for sandboxes, malware, document, for example, Android APKs. So these are like some of the sources you can use. And then some useful tools that we're using a lot, but I cannot like fit it into an exact category and probably more useful here. So I have Shodan, Sensys, FOFA, UDNS, and some other stuff. So yeah, so we had that for Firefox. I'm not sure if we're going to support Chrome-based browsers. It's there, it's installed, but I'm not sure we're going to put the bookmarks as well and the extensions. So. So here, I'll show you some apps that we've made, some like wrapper scripts, so we can use it easily. Like for example, CyberChef. So basically CyberChef is just an HTML file. So you just want to open it in your browser. So we have this. So familiar naman kayo dito, di ba? So are you familiar? CyberChef. So mostly like for decoding, or if you have like data that you want to represent in some other way, then we use this. Like say village, you want to see how it is in, let's say, X. So here, for example, so kind of thing. So mostly for decoding stuff. For CTFs, mostly they use this as well. Yes. This one, email header analyzer. So you won't find this like easily installed. Wait, I'll review how I made this actually. So basically it runs the server at the background and then opens it with Firefox as well. So here, basically you throw an email here, an email header, and then it will analyze the headers for you. This is also available online, I guess, from MX Toolbox. So it's the same thing. Yeah, you have it locally. So if you don't want to put your data, then so yeah, OPSEC still is a thing. So you don't want to put everything you're investigating into the internet, even on the sources I've mentioned here. Yeah, if you want to just do it locally, you can use this one. By the way, I'm not going to like demo any tool, or I'm just showing you what's included. Because yeah, this is not about like using the tools. What else? This we've included link scope. It's like Maltigo. Magdidemo. Okay, wala. So wala akong demo nito. But yeah, it's nice. It's a nice tool for for link analysis as well, making fancy graphs, like sort of Maltigo, and it's open source. It's free. It's available on GitHub as well. So we've included it here. We've added like a wrapper script as well, so you can call it instead of doing the making your Python virtual environment, sourcing that. So usually what you would do is like, let's say link scope. So you have it, you downloaded it from GitHub, for example. So you have your folder. You go into that folder, see the link scope, and then make your virtual environment. So Python -m VNV, and then source that. After sourcing that, activate your virtual environment. To activate your virtual environment, source it, and then install the requirements, and then run the tool. So we save you the hassle of doing that. The salt states are already doing that for you, and then we created this wrapper script, so you'll just call it, and it will do those things that I mentioned earlier. And then, what else? And then, this one is Spiderfoot as well. So it's a service. So it runs as a service. So it takes a while for some of the scripts because it runs in the background. So yeah, I won't show you these results. Funny. Yeah, it's just as an example. So yeah, so this is Spiderfoot. So it's a common tool for CTI as well. But yeah, so instead of like doing the same thing that I've mentioned earlier, downloading stuff from GitHub, so it does everything for you, and made that utility script, so you'll have this tool available already. And of course, a lot of, well, not a lot, but some command line tools as well I've added. So most of the tools are available here, that local bin, so your home directory, then that local bin, it's added to your path, so you can call any of these tools actually from anywhere in the terminal. So yeah, some of this, so this is for example the utility script that we made for Spiderfoot. So it's testing it if it's running, and then yeah, this is the thing I've mentioned earlier. So source it and then run the Python script for you on a specific port, and then open Firefox so you have that interface. So most of the utility scripts are like that. But of course, some of these are also just regular binaries. So you can check the states and we'll figure out what it's doing. Any questions? Yeah, that's everything. So as I've said, I won't walk through everything here. I'll just show you the basics and how you can potentially configure it to your own liking. So you can remove things and then just build, and then it will be built the way you want. That's it, basically. So you can download it again from. It's not. You can download the tool from here, and then the link for the OVA is also there, so you can download the actual VM if you don't save. If you want to save the time for building it, then just get the pre-built VM. It's not backdoored, don't worry. Or yeah, I mean you can build it from scratch. So it's up to you which one you want. Do you have any questions? Tanong po. Wala naman. Good. If you have any questions, or siguro you want to share something, or you want to contribute to the project, let us know. We're open to collaborations as well. So yeah, basically right now we're just 3 guys running, maybe 5. 2 other guys are not here, but yeah. We need some help. But we have some tools that yeah, we're releasing in the near future. Or by the way, we're also, so last year we've also launched publicly one Telegram group for ransomware incidents. So it's still up and running. Ransomware. So if you want the link, maybe we can share later dun sa village. Yeah. It's on Telegram, so you just basically you receive alerts for ransomware infections once it's available, which is like I think we're checking every 15 minutes. Wala ko palang yung pa-price. Wala, lapit na lang kayo dun sa village namin if you want like some stickers. We have some. That's all we have, stickers. For now. Okay, thank you po.